here at HRPA 2015 speaking with the partners behind Presentation Genius. They're here to help HR become better communicators and better at doing presentations. Tell us more about what you do.
Sure, I'm Michael Bungay Stanier. I'm the senior partner at Box of Crayons. Look, at Box of Crayons, we help people and organizations do less good work and more great work.
And I'm Mark Bowden. I'm the president of TruthPlane, and we help people stand out, win trust and profit every time we speak. And together, we are Presentation Genius, which is an online training for anybody who wants to kind of wow a room.
So we were talking about the neuroscience of engagement. If you're needing to work a room, be powerful in front of a room, be in a meeting with a team that has more impact, even in one-to-one conversation, how do you use the science of the brain, how the brain actually thinks about the world to actually increase your impact, make a group be more engaged, and therefore have your meetings have far more impact and be more powerful?
Yeah, exactly. And what are the practical things you can do in any situation that'll really mean that they pay attention, they get what you're saying, and you're influential and persuasive?
Yeah. What we looked at in particular is there's a model around the neuroscience of engagement. There are 4 letters to this model. It spells terror, T-E-R-A. The T stands for tribe, the E stands for expectation, the R stands for rank, and the A stands for autonomy. Now, if you understand those 4 drivers, you can understand how to influence people's brains. So rather than backing away from you, which is what the brain is often wired to do, they come towards you and stay engaged with you. One of the things I have a reputation for as a presenter and a facilitator is for being a lazy presenter. And of course that's a bit provocative, I understand that, but here's one of the things that's most powerful about that. When you understand the power of being lazy, what you're really doing is you're saying to the group, I trust you and I'm giving you more control and more autonomy. And if you know that a sense of autonomy raises engagement, if a sense of rank and status raises engagement, if a sense of tribiness raises engagement, being a lazy facilitator is something that you can do in service to the group.
You know, one of the issues around this is people kind of worry, well, if I'm lazy, if I'm not doing anything, surely they'll think, oh, you don't know anything. But just think about how I kind of let Michael just answer that. And I stand here and I smile and I nod my head. Did you really ever think about me and go, oh, Mark doesn't have an answer for this. He must be so much less than Michael. You know? So all I'm doing is being lazy, repeating what he said, yeah, and just trying to say a little bit more. It's lazy, but it still has impact. And that's what it's about. Lazy has more impact than you could possibly imagine. All of these ideas in the terror factors, they do apply to having a one-on-one conversation. Exactly. You'll notice that if you're having a one-on-one conversation with somebody, if you start to lower their rank, their sense of how much worth they have, how much resource they have, how impressive they are, they tend to want to get out of the conversation. Yeah?
Or fight back.
Or fight back.
Or flight. That part of the brain has been triggered.
Absolutely. And so that might come across to you as they have kind of really difficult questions for you now, or they're just being a bit aggressive about the interaction. So even one-on-one like this, I can still raise status. I mean, you've got some great ideas about this, Michael.
Thank you. Exactly. So see what he's doing there? And the thing is, I do have some really good ideas about this. And when I think about those smaller groups, one-to-one or a team meeting, a small boardroom, one of the places I go to first is thinking about the physical setup of that room. How do I perhaps remove the tables? Because so often tables act as a barrier and no other real reason. Where am I going to sit? Even how I orient myself towards a person I'm having a one-to-one with. I could choose to be directly across from Mark, which is a little confrontational. I could be kitty corner to Mark, so now we're kind of shoulder to shoulder. Or I could even choose to sit right next to Mark, so we're actually looking at the same thing together. And how I orient my body in position to the person I'm talking to has a really significant effect on those terror factors, which therefore drives a greater engagement. And I'll just finish up by saying that's possibly one of the strongest takeaways here, which is we tend to be content fascistic around when we think about presentation, which is like, if I can just polish my content even more, then surely that's what's going to make this meeting successful. But you've all been in meetings and experiences where you've gone, look, there's too much content, I'm overwhelmed by it, and quite frankly, the experience sucks. I just want to do my email underneath the table, right? And so actually understanding that content is just part of the mix, and the experience and using the 4 terror factors, tribe, expectation, rank, and autonomy, is what's really going to drive you to be a successful meeting or a successful presentation or even a successful one-to-one engagement.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, if you want to find both of us, Mark and me, the place to go to is presentationgenius.com. There you'll see some details about our program, Presentation Genius. Even more useful, you'll be able to look at 3 episodes of Mark and I sharing some of our best tips about how to use the terror factors and more to be a more effective facilitator, presenter, runner of meetings.